Every line on this car was designed to capture the spirit of Italian roadsters. This is the Matchbox 1967 Alfa Romeo Duetto. Welcome to Torque Junkies. Let's dive in and see what we can learn about this car. When you think of beautiful sports cars from the 1960s, few names stir the soul like Alfa Romeo. And among all the iconic models they produced, there's one that embodies Italian flair, open-top freedom, and timeless design more than nearly any other, the 1967 Alfa Romeo Spider Duetto. From the very moment it was unveiled, this car captured hearts. Its elegant curves weren't the product of a committee. They were the work of legendary Italian design house Pininfarina. Shaped to entice drivers with the promise of pure motoring joy, the long, curvaceous rear earned it a nickname that enthusiasts still use today, boat tail, because it looks like something you'd see slicing through Mediterranean waters. Alfa Romeo initially named this roadster the Duetto to highlight the car's two-seat layout and sporty design. However, the name soon ran into trademark issues, and Alfa Romeo was forced to market it simply as the Spider. Still, Duetto stuck among enthusiasts and collectors, becoming part of the car's enduring legend. The car's price at launch reflected its premium, European craftsmanship in the United States. The MSRP was around $3,950 or $3,950. Putting it in line with other small European sports cars of the era. For what you got, stunning design, Italian engineering, and open-air driving bliss, it was a bargain in terms of pure driving experience. But this car wasn't just about looks. While most people remember it for its beauty, the Duetto was also engineered to be an engaging driver's car. Under its elegant hood sits a 1.6-liter twin-cam inline-4 engine, fed by dual Weber carburetors. Depending on the source, this compact engine produced roughly 125 horsepower with torque around 115 pound-feet. That may not sound like much by today's standards, but when you consider this lightweight roadster weighed less than 2,200 pounds, the balance between power and weight made it feel lively on twisty roads. With power sent to the rear wheels through a crisp 5-speed manual gearbox, this car sprinted from 0 to 60 in roughly 10 seconds. And could reach top speeds of about 115 miles per hour. Impressive performance for a small roadster in the late 1960s. Beyond the engine, the Duetto's dimensions and chassis added to its nimble handling, with a wheelbase of 91.3 inches and an overall length of 156.5 inches. It was compact enough to dart through winding roads, yet stable at speed. The car sat just 48 inches tall, giving it a low, sporty stance. Its independent front suspension with coil springs and live rear axle with leaf springs offered a perfect balance between comfort and spirited driving. The Duetto weighed only about 2,120 pounds, contributing to its agility and precise steering feel. And Alfa Romeo offered a few optional touches that made each car unique. Early Spiders could be ordered with upgraded leather interiors, radio options, wind deflectors, and even different wheel trims. Even small changes like a chrome luggage rack or extra instrumentation in the cockpit could make the Duetto subtly different from the next, a trait collectors still admire today. But numbers and specs alone don't tell the whole story. To truly understand why the Duetto became such a cherished classic, you have to consider the cultural moment it entered. From the mid-1960s, European roadsters were an embodiment of freedom and individuality. The Duetto wasn't just a way to get from point A to point B. It was a statement about how you lived. And in 1967, that statement reached millions when the Spider starred uncredited but unforgettable in the Hollywood film The Graduate. Riding through the California hills with the top down, the Duetto became a symbol of youthful rebellion and open road romance. The story of the Duetto is also a story of evolution and rarity. While Alfa Romeo produced many Spiders over the years, ultimately building over 120,000 units of all Spider variants, only a fraction of those were the original round-tailed Duettos built in the late 1966 to 1967 period. And because of that limited production, these cars have become treasures among collectors. Let's take a look at a few examples that have sold recently on Bring a Trailer. Okay, here's the most recent sale. Now this one's a project car. This one only sold for $3,333. It's a pretty rough shape, but it's a starting point for someone. So I just wanted to throw that in there just to show you what the lowest you could get one for if you were looking for a complete project. Pretty rough. And then this is the opposite extreme. This one sold for $97,500 just a couple months ago. And this one says 76,000 miles, but I was reading and it says the total miles are actually unknown. But this car was a restored, a rotisserie restoration. So it's about as perfect as you can get. So we're looking at the lowest price, and then this is probably the highest price that you're going to see on one. But it's basically as good as new, or maybe even better than that. There's a picture of it on the rotisserie during restoration. Then here's one here that's a project car. This one sold for $15,750. Yeah, it's in okay shape, but it's a project, so they've been working on it. Not too bad though for the money. You can see that Pininfarina badge on the dashboard there. And then here's one that's in just pretty good shape all around. This is kind of the average price that I was seeing. This one sold for $42,000 about a year ago. 41,000 miles shown on it. Really good shape though. Lots of project cars I noticed too, quite a range on price on those. But I was seeing a lot of cars in the $35,000 to $40,000 range that were in pretty good shape. What makes the Duetto truly special and what consistently draws people to them at auctions, shows, and rallies is how the car feels when you're behind the wheel. Unlike many modern cars with electronic assists and driver aids, the Duetto invites you to be a part of the experience. From the choke and fire dual Webers to the mechanical connection through its manual gearbox and instant feedback from its suspension, you feel every nuance of the drive. It's a pure, unfiltered connection between driver, machine, and the open road. And while this story is about a small Matchbox model in your hand, it's also ultimately about the real car that inspired it. A car that stirred imaginations, won hearts around the world, and continues to be prized by collectors and drivers today. Each Duetto has a story of its own, of roads traveled, rallies entered, and memories made. That's why the Duetto isn't just a classic, it's a legend. And cars like this beautifully designed Matchbox Alfa Romeo Duetto Roadster are meant to be seen.